Hi book lovers, welcome back to my channel. I am doing my very first book haul of the year. These are all the books that I got in December. It's a lot because of Christmas and mainly because of my friend Kimberly, who sent me a box that was literally over 10 pounds worth of books. So I have no idea the exact number that I got back in December. I guess we'll see, but I do have a couple things that I want to unbox for you guys. I got some rep boxes from Hello Lovely Box and Mystic Box. I'm a rep for them. If you want to shop from Hello Lovely Box, use my code Lacey15, and then if you want to shop from Mystic Box, you can use my code Lacey10. For my Hello Lovely box, I got a couple goodies. This shirt is in the surprise monthly box. It's a pun on artichokes. It says all choked up on that happily ever after. Got this cute little french fry sticker, chapstick, and these two ebook codes by Piper Lawson and Lucy Eden. They also added a bunch of new things to the shop, including a freaking umbrella. This has a Jane Austen quote on it. It's a quote from Pride and Prejudice. I also got this winter seasons exclusive cover from Laurel and Page. It's Man in Charge, which I think is part of a duet, but I do like Laurel and Page, so this is great. And it came with these two ebooks by Emmy Carter and Jacinta Howard. Also, Becca was so nice to send this gigantic pouch with my name on it and lovely on the back. So again, if you want to shop there, you can use my code Lacey15 for 15% off. And then for my Mystic box, this was the box for the months November and December, and the featured author was A. Zavarelli, who writes like these dark mafia romances. There is this little postcard with some fan art on this red little tin, a mafia romance reader pin, some super secret swag, which they also did for the last author, for Penelope Douglas. So it's another little booklet of some fan art. It's got some fan art from the Boston Underworld series, which is a series I have read a couple books in and do enjoy. And then of course the two exclusive hardcovers with the special covers. The first hardcover from A. Zavarelli is Hate Crush. This one is a forbidden student-teacher romance. I haven't read this one yet, but it does look really nice. And the other giant hardcover is two books in one, actually. The first two books in the Boston Underworld series. So these two books I have read and enjoyed, and both of these hardcovers are signed by the author. So if you love your darker romances, I highly recommend you check out Mystic Box. Their author for January and February is Baby Reed, and they'll be having two exclusive covers, two exclusive hardcovers of her books. So if you want to get your own box, you can use my code Lacey10 for 10% off. And now onto all the books that I got last month. There are a ton. I got a bunch from publishers, from authors, from some friends for Christmas, and of course I went shopping on eBay again. I'll start off with a couple arcs that I got. This first one is Abby Jimenez's Life's Too Short, which is the next book in her Friend Zone series, though it can be read as a standalone. This one I'm so excited to read. The heroine is a YouTuber. She is like a famous YouTuber, but then she gets custody of her niece, so she needs to take care of her, and she gets some help from her gorgeous neighbor. I got The Forever Girl by Jill Chavez. This one is women's fiction. I honestly don't really read Jill Chavez's women's fiction. I've only ever read her romances, like her Heartbreaker Bay series, which is great, but I do love how pretty this cover is. And then I got these 4 arcs from St. Martin's Press. I was so excited because one of them is one of my most anticipated reads of the year, and that one is Makeup Breakup by Lily Menon. If you didn't know, Lily Menon is a pseudonym, a pen name for a YA author, Sandhya Menon. It's rivals, enemies to lovers, and the two main characters are both app developers. They've created rival dating apps, and now they've become next door neighbors. Another YA author who is coming out with an adult romance is Float Plan by Trish Doller. I actually have read one of Trish Doller's YAs a long time ago, but for this romance, the heroine has just lost her fiance who passed away, and now she's trying to go on this trip they were supposed to take together by sailing, and she hires the hero who is a professional sailor. And then I got 10 Rules to Faking It by Sophie Sullivan. The heroine is a radio producer, and it seems like she's falling for her boss. And then the last of my arcs is Maggie Finds Her Muse by D. Ernst. This one is actually women's fiction. It's got a best-selling author for a main character who goes to Paris to try to get through her writer's block. I also got a bunch of finished copies from some publishers on this one I was so excited to get, and it is Gentle Rogue by Joanna Lindsay, but with the new updated cover that looks so pretty and very old school vibes $5-ish. It's also the bigger mass market paperback size that costs $10, but I was so excited to get this one. It is one of her historical romances with a pirate hero. I haven't read it yet, but I've heard amazing things for this one. Another historical romance that I got is Her Wicked Marquis by Stacey Reed. This one I'm actually reading for the historical romance readathon. I'm so excited. Book 1 was great. Book 1 was My Darling Duke. In this historical romance, the heroine creates a scandal of her own so that she can get out of this marriage with an old man. The rake hero was seen climbing out of someone's bedroom, which is very scandalous, and the heroine pretends that it was her bedroom that he climbed out of so that her reputation could be ruined. I got Happy Singles Day by Anne-Marie Walker. This one is probably perfect to read for Valentine's Day. The heroine goes to stay at a bed and breakfast which is owned by the single father hero. I also got Enjoy the View by Sarah Morgan-Thaler. The heroine is a Hollywood actress, but her career is tanking, so she decides to go to the small town in Alaska to film this documentary, and that is where she meets the grouchy mountaineer hero. I also got The Wreckage of Us by Brittany C. Cherry. This one is kind of a rock star romance. The hero is an up-and-coming musician. The heroine is kicked out from her terrible home life and she is taken in by the hero's family. I actually listened to this one on audio and enjoyed it, to my surprise, because usually I have a hard time enjoying Brittany C. Cherry's books. She's hit or miss for me, but mostly misses. I got Happily Ever After by Vi Keeland and Penelope Ward. It's got a single father hero. His daughter and the heroine connect by writing letters together, and that's how they meet. I also listened to this one because it's also on KU. It was really sweet, really cute. And here is The Marriage Code by Brooke Burrows. It's enemies to lovers between colleagues, and the hero's parents are also wanting him to get married, so the heroine decides to write this algorithm to try to find his perfect bride. I got a couple Harlequin books. This one is Her Texas New Year's Wish by Michelle Major, Running Away with the Bride by Sophia Singh Sasson, which has such a pretty cover, Agent Under Seas by Lena Diaz, and One Last Chance by Therese Behari. This one actually sounds so good. It's a second chance romance between best friends who secretly got married 6 years ago. I was sent the latest Kristen Ashley book, Dream Chaser, which is book 2 in her Dream Team series. I liked book 1. It was very old school KA feels, so I'm excited to get to this one. I got a Christmas romance by Debbie Mason, Christmas on Reindeer Road, and it's got a cute little puppy on the cover. Another Christmassy book, One Day in December by Josie Silver, that they repackaged into a mass market paperback. I also got the new Nora Roberts, which I was not expecting because it's Nora Roberts, and honestly I hadn't even heard of her releasing a new book until this arrived in the mail. It is The Awakening. It's the first book in her new series, the Dragonheart Legacy series, and I'm hoping it is all about dragons. It's about 2 realms, a fantasy realm and then our regular realm, and the hardcover is so pretty. I'm obsessed. This is what the inside looks like. I got A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. I've heard amazing things about this author, so when I saw that I could request this one, I did it. Do I know what it's about? No, I think it's like dark academia kind of stuff, but the hardcover is so pretty. And then this last one that I was sent from a publisher I actually won in a giveaway, this beautiful hardcover collector's edition of Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. It looks so freaking nice. Even the edges are painted, and this is what the inside looks like, and it's got a little bookmark here. I love it so much. I was so happy that I won. Plus, this is one of my favorite YAs that I read as a teen. And then for some books that some indie author sent me, I got Not What I Expected by Julie Ann. This one I actually tried reading it, but I just don't think that I was in the age bracket this book was meant for. It's about a divorced single mother who is practically an empty nester. She ends up finding a younger man who she has an enemies to lovers romance with, but the main reason that I pretty much just DNF'd this one was because it was more about the struggles of marriage and having a husband who didn't appreciate you, and that was just not something that I was interested in reading, so I just put it down. I got a couple Christmas books. This one is Kitty Valentine Dates a Santa. It's part of the Kitty Valentine Valentine series, and it came with this really nice magnet. Holiday With You by Claudia Bergoa and Graham Clare. This one is a single dad, small town Christmas romance. And I got Second Dive by Jasmine Miller, which is a swimming sports romance. Swimming is like the only sport that I care about, so I was so excited to be sent this one. And also I would love more sports romances with swimming in them, but this one is a second chance romance with an Olympic swimmer hero. And then Monica Murphy was so nice. I posted something on Instagram mentioning her, and then she said, I want to send you some books. So she sent me these three. This one is A Wedding Date. It's friends to lovers, and they pretend to be in a relationship when they go to a wedding. And then she also sent the first two books in the Callahan series. Book 1 is Close to Me, book 2 is Falling for Her. These are both new adult high school romances, and book 2 is Enemies to Lovers. And then because it was December, I got a couple Christmas gifts, a couple Christmas books. Lisa from Remarkably Lisa sent me War by Laura Thalassa, which is book 2 in the Four Horsemen series, a series that I am obsessed with. War is actually my favorite of the series. My friend Sarah got me one of Cressley Cole's Immortals After Dark books. This one is Shadow Seduction. I'm still making my way through this P&R series. I am up to book 10. I stopped at Lothair, mainly because I didn't really think anything else could beat Lothair for me. One of my followers sent me Brother Song by TJ Klune, which is the final book in the Green Creek series, so thank you, Jill. Her username is Jilly Reads. Jessica from Peace Love Books got me a Kerrigan Byrne book, of course. This one is Seducing a Stranger, which is book 1 in the Good Girl series, and I think this one was the one that was renamed and rebranded from the 7th or 8th book in the Victorian Rebel series. So originally it was called A Dark and Stormy Night, but she changed everything about it. But it is about Chief Inspector Morley, who we first met in The Highwayman, so I'm excited to read this one. And then Charles from Books on Stereo sent me a couple books off my wish list. This one is The Honey Don't List by Christina Lauren. This one is a road trip romance between two assistants. He sent me Delicious by Sherry Thomas, which is one of my favorite Sherry Thomas books. It is so angsty. I mean, all Sherry Thomas books are really angsty, but this one is a second chance romance between a couple who had this one night together, and now the heroine works for the hero as his new chef. And he also got me a Beverly Jenkins book, the last book that I needed in the Destiny series, Destiny's Embrace. This is book 1, Enemies to Lovers, with a rancher and his new housekeeper. Desiree from Yankee Readers sent me this old school Harlequin Presents book, one of my favorite Harlequin Presents, Crescendo by Charlotte Lamb. It's an amnesia second chance romance, and if you can find a copy, you need to read it because it is so angsty and so good. So I do have one more Christmas package, but it's my giant 10-pound one. So I'll get to that at the end of this video after I go through all the books that I bought for myself, all the new books, plus the books that I went shopping on eBay for. The books that I bought for myself for Christmas that I treated myself to. This one is The Kingmaker by Kennedy Ryan with the special cover, special edition from the Bookworm box. I had been dying to get my hands on this ever since this cover was revealed, and they finally put it up on their website, so I bought it. And this is the cute little bookmark that came with it. This is one of my all-time favorite books, one of my all-time favorite series. It is so good. Barnes & Noble had the 25% off coupon sale thing going on for Christmas, so I got these two books because I got two coupons from two different emails. This one is Hands Down by Mariana Zapata. It is the spin-off of The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. It's not my favorite of hers. I definitely didn't love it as much as Winnie, but I had to get it because I just collect all of her books. It is another sports romance of hers, a football romance, and this was the last book that I needed to complete my Green Creek series, Heart Song by TJ Klune. This is book 3, and this is the book that I need to get to because I just finished book 2, Raven Song. All the books in the series are paranormal romances with wolf shifters. And then I had to get myself The Duke Who Didn't by Courtney Milan, which is such a fun and lighthearted historical romance. It's an Asian historical romance, which was even more reason why I needed it. And then the last few books that I bought for myself, these books arrived on New Year's Eve. It is the 3 books in the Maid series by Danielle Laurie, which is my new favorite mafia romance series. Book 1 is The Sweetest Oblivion. Book 2, and my favorite of the series so far, is The Maddest Obsession. And book 3 is The Darkest Temptation. I'll be talking about these more in the mafia romance video I have planned. I just need to film it and get it out, but I am obsessed with the series. It's on KU, so I went and got them. It's such a good mafia romance series with the hottest heroes. Book 1 is a forbidden romance between a heroine and her sister's fiance. Book 2 is enemies to lovers, but the hero has been obsessed with the heroine since she married someone else. And book 3 is a kidnapping romance. And now for all the used historical romances that I found. Are we surprised? I found a bunch more. I got a couple more Sherry Thomas books because I guess I'm collecting Sherry Thomas now. His at Night is a marriage of convenience romance with a secret agent hero. Private Arrangements is a historical romance between an already married couple, but now the heroine wants to divorce. I got these 3 Sabrina Jeffries books. They're in the Swan Leah Sisters series. I've been wanting them for the back covers ever since I saw Lisa got them. A Dangerous Love has this beautiful back cover with them lying in a canoe. This one sounds like an enemies to lovers romance. Dance of Seduction has this step back with them lying on a chaise. The hero in this one is an undercover agent trying to break up this notorious crime ring. And this last Sabrina Jeffries book that I got is After the Abduction with this beautiful wintry furry back cover. This one actually sounds the most interesting. The heroine was kidnapped 2 years ago and now she's kind of missing her kidnapper, but it turns out the kidnapper and the man that she misses is actually that guy's twin, and this twin is the hero. I found this hardcover of Twin of Fire by Jude Devereaux. I was actually looking for the paperback. I'm kind of still looking for the paperback because I own book 2 in paperback. This is one of her Western romances and the heroine is in medical school trying to become a doctor. She ends up switching places with her twin sister who is engaged, and she ends up sleeping with her sister's fiance. I also started collecting a bunch of Laura Kinsale books, all her historical romances with the original old school covers. Uncertain Magic has this beautiful cover. It's a marriage of convenience. The hero is known as the Devil Earl and he's also an Irish rake. Midsummer Moon has this cover. It's got a heroine who is a genius inventor. The hero has been tasked to find her so that they can use her latest invention to defeat Napoleon, and instead when he sees her, when he finds her, he ends up stealing her away back to his home. And I also found Seize the Fire by Laura Kinsale with this beautiful step back. The heroine here is an exiled princess and the hero is known as a scoundrel and every maiden's nightmare. I also bid on this Beverly Jenkins lot that I actually won against Jessica. We found out during one of our lives that we bid against each other for this one, but I did win. I literally woke up at 6 a.m. to bid on this, mainly for this beautiful hardcover with the original cover of Vivid. I just finished listening to this one in audio and loved it. The heroine is a doctor. She moves to the small town for a new job, and the hero, who is the mayor of the town, is not happy about it. A Chance at Love with this beautiful cover is a mail order bride romance. It's a Western romance set in Kansas. Before the Dawn is another Western historical romance with a heroine who is somehow about to inherit the hero's father's wealth, which means the hero hates her. And this last Beverly Jenkins book is Always and Forever, and the heroine here accidentally falls into a stranger's bed, and that stranger is the hero, who is a former lawman. And then my last used historical romance finds were these Julia Quinn books that I have been searching for. Thankfully I found them before Bridgerton released on Netflix, so they were not crazy expensive. I found the original cover of Splendid, which is Julia Quinn's debut book. It's got an American heiress and a Duke hero. Book 2 in the Splendid series is Dancing at Midnight with this beautiful cover. We've got a scarred hero in this one. He's scarred inside and out from war. And I found To Catch an Heiress with this beautiful back cover. This one is in perfect condition. There's not a single crease on the spine. This one is part of her Agents of the Crown series. So the hero is a secret agent and he thinks the heroine is a notorious spy and he's trying to bring her down. And then finally, for my gigantic box from my friend Kimberly, it is so big. She got me a bunch of Nora Roberts and some Charlotte Lamb Harlequin Presents, plus a few other historicals. This one is Lions and Lace by Megan McKinney. This is the epic Step Back. It's a Gilded Age historical romance. The hero here has stolen the heroine's fortune. I originally heard about it through Joanna Shoup, so that's why I really wanted it. And these two Nora Hess books, Lark and Willow. I mainly got these for the Step Backs. This one is Lark's and this is Willow's. They are both Western historical romances. There's also this anthology with Kathleen Woodiwiss, Loretta Chase, and Lisa Kleypas. It's 3 Weddings and a Kiss. And here are all the Charlotte Lamb books that my friend found for me. There are so many. They're the old school Harlequins, Harlequin Presents, there's a Presents Plus, Barbary Wharf. Her romances are pretty wild, very intense and angsty with alpha heroes. Like this one, Spellbinding, the heroine wakes up from a month-long coma. She's lost her job, her home, her fiance, and she ends up falling for her former fiance's very powerful older brother. There's also a bunch where the main characters are already married and pretty much hate each other now. This one though, Secret Obsession, sounds crazy. The main characters are married, but the heroine is in love with her cousin who is in a coma. There's also this Charlotte Lamb anthology called Snowbound. I haven't read any of these though. I've only read the one that Desiree got me, Crescendo, as well as Temptation. Temptation is another good one, super angsty with an age gap. And these last ones are all the Nora Roberts my friend sent me. Surprisingly, I actually haven't read any Nora Roberts books yet. I've only read her In Death series that she writes under JD Robb, but I haven't actually read any like Nora Roberts books. She has 1,000,001 books to choose from, and now I have all of these. If you read any of these, let me know. I'll just go through the titles. This one is The McGregor Brides, Megan's Mate, which is a silhouette book. Another silhouette book, The Heart of Devin McCade. Reflections and Dreams, which is 2 books, Reflections and Dance of Dreams. The McGregors, Alan and Grant. Their books are called All the Possibilities and One Man's Art. More McGregors, Daniel and Ian, and their books are For Now, Forever, and In From the Cold. Western Skies has 2 books, Song of the West and Boundary Lines. The Calhoun Woman, Catherine and Amanda. Their books are called Courting Catherine and A Man for Amanda. The McGregor Grooms, about DC, Duncan and Ian. Even More McGregors, Serena and Kane. Serena's is Playing the Odds and Kane's is Tempting Fate. And this final Nora Roberts paperback is another 2-in-1, the Stanislavski brothers, Mikhail and Alex. I had no idea she wrote about Russians. This one has Luring a Lady and Convincing Alex. Those are all the books that I got in December. Once again, it's a lot, mainly because of this gigantic box that I wasn't expecting. But that's it for my book haul. Let me know if you read any of these books. Somehow I will find a way to fit them all on my shelves. But that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!